It's more than just the money.
Yeah, that She Hate Me by the Custodian record. TCOR, Grizzly Adam, Donate Society.
Hey, this is Jeff Jones from Community Voice with another Money Moment Mondays with MJ from BudgetME. And, we bring this to you Mondays to help you get ready for your finances throughout the week so you don't have to wait till Friday to figure out what you're going to do with your money. But we're excited to have MJ from BudgetME to talk about money matters every Monday. So we bring you this Money Moment Monday. But before we jump to the conversation, Jack, you got anything? I know you out there in the side today, the West Side office. People be like, "What's up?" She on her West Coast office.
Always on the West Coast, Yeah, I got nothing. West Coast is good, nice and sunny. Sun just went down, and I got some water. So,
so you ready? I hope you got some notes and some pens to take down some information. Because last Money Moment Monday, man, Mike, MJ was dropping some jewels and some science. People were giving us great feedback. So MJ, I know you all queued up and ready. It's that time of year for you. So I know you got a lot of great things you want to drop. You got the tax season. Now you got the next stimulus coming. And oh man, who knows? Unemployment is being readjusted and all that. Minimum wage is about to be changed. You got a lot to talk about, bro. So I'm going to just transition right over to you, MJ from BudgetME, with the Money Moment Monday. So it's on you, my brother.
Hey, Community Voice. I'm on with my two favorite people. I don't know if anybody's nickname. I got J and J, and that's gonna be my MJ. We got these acronyms. I got J and J here. Appreciate you guys. Always excited to give some jewels and Jeff, you hit it right on the button, man. It's money that's flowing in, and what are we gonna do with it? I got a lot of feedback from the credit piece. And this topic that I want to bring up today is feeding off of that, because it's this huge misperception that when you get a pre-approval for a home, that you can afford the home. So pre-approval does not mean you can afford the house. So that's kind of the topic. Can you afford that house? So that's this money moment today. Can you afford that house? So we all work it out and say, I got to get my credit up. I got my pre-approval, and they start house shopping. And, no one does the money financial control part of it to really say, can I afford this house?
Right.
We always put one foot in the water and jump in, and then we figure out we know how to swim, right? We don't do that. So why we don't do that with our money?
Right, but isn't that the way the business treats us, though, MJ? Though it tells us, get pre-approved first, and then everything else will be good, right?
Yeah, you're right, because no one has the education on the money and how to do the steps before. All my clients, we have a program that we go through, and I don't even talk about pre-approval until they can show me that what can you afford every month? So if but then they'll say, well, MJ, I'm paying, $1,200 in rent. But the house I want is $1,600. So I can just cut some stuff and, I'll make that work. No, it doesn't work that way. Can you afford that house? So again, I'm going to say this line. I wish I could put this up. Pre-approval does not mean you can afford the house. And I'll give you a little, something to look back on history, something that we all may not be aware of. And I'm saying that to be a little funny. The year 2008 and 7 was when the market crashed. And you want to know why? The majority of why that happened is because there was millions of pre-approvals going out and people couldn't afford the house. And no mortgage regulations back then were different. So if you just said your name and spelled it right, they was giving you a pre-approval, putting you in a home. And everyone couldn't afford it. So the market crashed. We'll get into that another topic, but I'm just saying my theory is not something I'm making up. If you look back in those years, everyone does the research on that and look at the real estate market at that time. This topic right here is very keen. And I just want to make sure we don't repeat history because they're going to be flooding us with money. Like you said, taxes, stimulus coming out, new round of the loans and the grants. And it's going to be a lot of flossing again, and people are going to get getting their credit up, and hopefully they listen. Now they think they can afford the house, and let's make sure you can. So affordability, your budgeting, your mortgage, your utilities, your cable, your food, your car note, your car gas for your car. Add all that up and say, what can I afford financially to live every month? Because in a home, when you're renting, you may have a landlord. You call, they come fix that. When you own that home, you got to fix it.
Right.
So it's the maintaining. My dad always gave me a jewel that anybody can become champ of the world, but how long can he keep the belt? We may get in that home, but then all of a sudden, man, we got all the stuff going on. We got to pay for this. The water, the basement done flooded. You find out your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover the damage in the basement.
Wow.
You got a roof, your roof's leaking. Your appliances just went down. The electric's not working. So it's things like that. So how do you keep your financials intact to make sure you can really afford the home? So affordability calculation is what we do. Is we look at the mortgage, utilities, the cable, all the bills every day, what you make, simple budget. Can you maintain this home? And I'm not even talking about extracurricular activities, right? So we're just talking about the home. Can you afford the home? And not can you afford the home if you have a roommate, a spouse, because at any day they can come home and say, hey, guess what, partner? I don't have a job anymore. Well, guess what? You still got to be able to afford that home. So when you make a move like that, one person should be able to hold down everything. So that's where we get into.
Pause there and talk about that, MJ, because a lot of times, you find couples, particularly in this day and age, who are doing just that. They're looking to split the bills, maybe sometimes, and they're looking to, maybe get a place, whether it's a condo or a home, that they think that, we both can work it out. But talk about the importance of having, not in a controlling way, but having one party who can really particularly carry that financially to make it a better space for both.
No, you're right. And I want to make sure that my point is not, because maybe a couple of us listening out here, like, MJ said you should be able to hold this down by yourself. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I want to make sure that financially, when you look at your picture, one of you should be able to hold it down just in case the other does not. Now, you still should come together and work out as a team to make sure you're financially, moving and forward that way. But, you got to calculate your income and make sure that you both can afford it with all that budgeting I just stated. And don't calculate your overtime and any bonuses, and calculate the bare minimum income on both sides and say, can you hold this down by yourself? And if the answer is no, either you got to lower that affordability number of the home you want, or you got to wait a little bit longer until you can get to that point. But don't jump in and then start trying to learn how to swim, because you're going to put a strain on yourself. You're going to put a strain probably on a relationship. It's going to put a strain on other things. It's going to affect, so the affordability piece is key. The next part is the required items, so can you afford it is one. The next is what do I need? Because you get the pre-approval, you get with your loan officer, and then you start hearing all this other stuff you need. You're like, I didn't know I needed all that. Or I didn't know what that meant. What's my DTI? What's my debt to income ratio? You need 2 years of tax returns. Well, I just filed last year. I don't have 2 years. Now I got to go file the year before the 2, or, you may not file the 2, or you're a business owner and you haven't filed your business, taxes as it's things like that you should be prepared to have what your DTI is, your tax transcripts, your bank statements, verification of employment, and the topic I talked about last time is your credit. So you got the pre-approval, but that doesn't mean that you're good to go, because as you're moving in the mortgage process, they're going to keep running your credit. So they're going to tell you out here, do not even look at your credit while you're in this process. Don't try to inquire about the Kohl's credit card, because they're going to give you 10% off. Just don't put your social security number down to anybody until you actually sign and you're in the house. So that's the required items. So we got the affordability, the required items. And then my favorite one, the last part of can you afford this house, is you got to move. So now you need money for movers, truck, whatever you got to do to move, right? Then you need furniture, you need possibly renovation, continue maintenance on the home. So all that's a financial picture. And can you afford this house? Because you get in there and now you got the mattress on the floor, You got the table from the, you ain't got the front, you just sitting there, I gotta get no, make sure that you ready for this home, so that's the whole piece of, can you afford the home, so that's the speech today, Jeff. This is it's a huge topic. We're going to get this money in, but I need everyone to understand, let's focus on the affordability. What do I really need to move through the process? And then once I'm able to get in the home, do I have my financials in order where I can put things in the home and turn that house into a home?
So now when we're talking about those three things, you got the affordability, you got what do we need, and then we have, the financial pieces that you have to have in place. So if someone puts all those in place and they then still do have the pre-approval, what then should they really do? Is it still another strategy step? Because they could think they have that in order, and sometimes they may. And jumping in, there still may be something that they have to do. Is there still another mix once you put all of them together that has to be put in place?
No, my only recommendation is just make sure that they have great representation. Because when I say this to some of my peers that I grew up with, I'm like, if you go to court without a lawyer, you're not going to do that, right? No, I'm gonna get an attorney right away. When we go into court, I need an attorney. So when you're going to look for that home and you're doing this process, have somebody that's representing you or able to guide you to the right with each step of the way. But if they have all those three things in order, Jeff, the affordability, the required items, and then it's time to move in financials, and they got their pre-approval, hey man, it's go time. The other side chapter is learning how to negotiate, which the right representation is there, because this market's a hot market right now. So, if you see a home that's 200,000 and you offer 190, you're probably not getting that home. It's going to be about 8 people bidding 220 and 230. We about to get into a really bidding war in the real estate game. So that's another piece of the financial. Be prepared to pay more than what your pre-approval said, because you got to call your guy back and say, I know it said 200, but I need to get to 250 so I can get this house. But that 250 means a higher mortgage payment. So, and within the mortgage payment, I want to break this down real quick. You got your taxes and your insurance. That's called escrow. That's into the principal and interest. So you may see that your principal and interest is $1,500, but then your mortgage is going to be $2,200 because depending on what your taxes are and your homeowner's insurance, that's going to be bulked into that payment. So those are the things that the loan officer, I see a lot of people fall for that. Because you get a pre-approval, you're like, oh, my payment's going to be $1,500 a month. And then when you see that first, it's called a loan estimate, and you see $2,200, you're like, what happened to the $1,500, man?
Yeah. Well, that's why you say they have to have representation when they go in, because those things do change. We hear those stories all the time. Where people go in, and what happens too, MJ, is that they go in, right, and instead of, and I don't know if it is a case where they can back out of, but instead of finding a better way to negotiate, they find themselves trapped and they push forward. Like you said, if they go in, they thought it was 17, then they have to negotiate and finds out it's 22, they go forward and push forward. Is there anything that they could do at that moment to be like, yo, let me get a little bit closer back to the 17 as opposed to this 22?
Absolutely. They can drive it. They can say, look, I'm not trying to go past this amount. So on the mortgage side, there's terms that you can say concession, or you can buy down the points. So you're the consumer. You can tell that guy what you want to be at. I don't want to go past this amount. You make it work. So get my rate down, whatever you got to do to make that happen. But that's where the representation comes in play. You can also shop around for a homeowner's insurance. Make sure that might lower your payment, because instead of paying $2,500 a year, you might find one that's $1,200 a year with the same coverage. So that just took you from $200 a month. You just took off $100 a month just by finding a different carrier.
Gotcha.
Stuff like your taxes, you can't really win with that, but you might say, I know I want to live in a better school district, but if I go 3 blocks over, my taxes went from 8,000 down to 3. Okay, that's more reasonable.
Right. Yeah.
But and then when you bring kids into the picture, that's a different story too with school, because if you're paying for school every month, or if you buy the house now that has the 8,000 taxes, but that's a better school district, you may pay maybe $200 or $300 more on your mortgage, but you're not paying tuition payments every month now because you're sending them to a public school in a better area.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Hey man, I'm always gonna find a way to budget in.
I see. And that's, that's why we enjoy having you on, because you're always, unearthing those little but important intricacies of finances and how to better maintain your money. And that can save, like, it's like you just talked about, just saving $100, right, a month, and you add that up times 12, that's $1,200, right? Then you multiply that by the length of the term of the loan. You saving lots of money, off, thousands of dollars, just off of that $100 idea you told them to save. So again, that's why we like having you, because you help us to find those little bit of monies that can save a lot throughout a length of a time. It's that sustainability and generating a little bit of more savings in that space. So man, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. So
yeah, absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
And so I did actually have before we wrap up and go, MJ, I did have a request. There was an email that was sent to me, actually a couple emails sent to me, and they would love. There's a new trend of people financing their teeth. So there are folks getting all types of cosmetic surgery and veneers, and we're talking upwards of like between $20,000 to $50,000 for a full set of teeth. So the request was, next time MJ's on the show, not this Monday, but next time MJ's on the show, please, if he could take 3 minutes to give some tips about any type of cosmetic procedure, specifically this new trend of people having all of their teeth removed and putting veneers in their mouth to make their smile a $1 million smile.
Wow, that was a curve.
Don't give it to them now. They're not ready for it now.
This could be another Money Moment Monday, but put that in the bank, because trust MJ, we get a lot of emails about your segment. We definitely, that's why we're doing this Money Moment Monday, more than just 5 minutes, because our viewers and listeners like, look, we got to talk to MJ. We got to hear more about MJ. So, every now and then we'll throw out something for you to chew on so that you can talk about next Monday. So you don't have to do this Monday, but just know.
No, I got it. I mean that was a curveball. I mean, right away, I think about, if I'm going to spend money on my looks, then what is the return on that? I'm always thinking of investment. So if the return is just for me to, get some smiles and compliments throughout the day, then I don't know if that 30 or 40,000 my teeth is worth that, so, and then looking at what is their other financial situation, or how are they living generally to be able to do that? What does their financial overall portfolio look like? Do you have perfect teeth, but your credit score is 510? So I my brain's just, going with that. But I can go a different way. You change your personality, it makes you feel better, then you might motivate yourself, and next you're starting a business, or you did find a mate and you two are bumping heads together where you can build some dream. So you're right, that could have an investment in a different return. But I'm a soak on that a little bit, and because I've been asked to, I've actually had to budget somebody to be able to get surgery. They wanted enhancement on their, on some body parts, and they couldn't do it, and it was very costly. So we took a year and a half, and they got to the goal, and then they used that money to go get their surgery. So I've done that before.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, hey, look,
maybe a good twist on that is to just maybe give a couple of tips to help people plan, if that's what they're going to do. Because I don't want to tell people what to do, right? Because if I could pay $20,000 for a smile, hey, look, I'm writing the check. I can't. But maybe give some people, some tips, so that if that's something that they're planning, that they can prepare for it, and not just go with the financing and then end up paying a couple $100 a month and putting themselves in the hole. So chew on that for a little bit and get back to us. I think our listeners would love to hear from you from that.
Cool.
I got you. I'm on it.
Cool. So that's what's up. So that's MJ on BudgetME, MJ the Coach. And again, you can find him on Instagram at MJ the Coach. And then you can find him on Facebook at Coach MJ. And MJ, tell them where else they can find you, your website and everything else that you got coming up before we sign off for this Money Moment Monday for today.
Sure, Jeff. Again, I just want to repeat, can you afford that house? Pre-approval does not mean that you can afford the house. So I just want to make sure, contact me or get some representation. I'll do an assessment to really see if you can afford the house. But you can find me on my website, www.budget-me.com. or call our office at 267-303-6571 or 267-223-9012. Either number is there. And, coming up, Jeff, I do have some big things. I'm hoping this COVID thing allows for some of the movements that we built, that we've been waiting on. It's just been building. I may partner again with, Rasheed Wallace and Steve Jackson again. I've had those discussions. A lot of stuff in the community with the schools. And we're also focusing on this anti-violence movement, that's out there, how to reach the youth, and some good community events and education. So I'll keep you guys posted, but COVID is the thing that's blocking it. So, unfortunately, we didn't do our report card event that was going to be in March. A lot of the parents are sending us, we're just trying to dialogue on that end, trying to figure out a way. Virtually is what everyone's doing, but you guys know our event. In person, there's nothing like that event. So, but that's kind of what's coming up. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And we'll definitely always be supporting when you do. And we'll definitely give it a shout out on Community Voice Radio Talk Show when we air. So appreciate you, MJ. This is another segment of Money Moment Monday with MJ from BudgetME. And he just dropped some jewels. If you weren't able to catch his full episode, check us out on our YouTube channel. And it'll be dropped also on SoundCloud. The YouTube is Community Voice PHL Talk Show. And the SoundCloud is Community Voice PHL Talk Show. But that's it for Money Moment Monday. Look forward to the next episode to keep your finances in order and take a moment every Monday with MJ from BudgetME. Peace, and we out.
It's more than just the money.
Yeah, that She Hate Me by the Custodian, the record. TCOR, Grizzly Adams, Donate Society.